Hey y'all. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cameron Overholt, and I am a part of the incredibly lucky group of guys who got to spend so much of our time with Kel and who were privileged to call him one of our best friends. I'm here somewhere in the room on FaceTime. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I really wish I could, but I had to go back to Austin for work after last weekend. When thinking about something to say today, I had a really hard time. That's not because I have any lack of amazing, hilarious memories about Kel, but because it was near impossible for me to find ones that I think do justice to the amazingness of Kel and to the love that I feel for him. But I know that I never could, so I'll just share some fun ones anyways. There were a few that rushed immediately to mind. Like last weekend, I think we all spent a lot of time looking at old photos and videos on our phone, and the first one that I went to and that I go back to with pretty frequently was a video from the dead of winter on the Maddox farm. We're out adventuring, and we came to a pond that had frozen over and had a hay bale out in the middle of it. And Kel, being the pyro that he was, decided that it would be a really good idea to light that hay bale on fire. So he trudged into the lake, breaking through the ice with every step as everybody in the background chants, "Dane! Dane! Dane!" And he did make it out to the hay bale. Unfortunately, because it was sitting in water, the lighting of it was only semi-successful, but he emerged from the frozen lake totally unscathed, and we continued to have a good night. I thought of Kel chugging a bottle of Texas Pete out of a glass at the Webb lunchroom table on a dare, and the disastrous consequences that chugging posed to the walls outside of Webb later on. I thought of the trip that Lou and Kel and I took summer after senior year of high school to go to Florida together, and the day that we were sitting out on the back porch of the house, and Kel spotted a probably 25 or 30-year-old awful wooden pylon sitting in the middle of the channel and decided that he wanted to jump off of it. So he dove into the ocean, swam out to the middle of the channel, and somehow shimmied himself up out of the water, up this 12 foot out of the water pole that was covered in splinters, and dove off the top, then proceeded to do it 5 more times, and then swim back over totally unscathed, no splinters or anything, which is just so classic for everything that Kel did. All those adventuresome moments seem to end up pretty well for him. However, those funny, awesome memories aren't the ones that stick with me the most. The ones that really matter to me now are those of the conversations that I got to have with Kel, just the two of us. I remember a ride during a free period where he asked me to come on an errand with him to go pick up the minivan when it was getting worked on, and that was probably because of too many burnouts in the Webb parking lot, which is fair. But I remember him absolutely going after the Webb establishment because he just kind of wanted to sleep in during senior year, which I think we all did, but Kel had the guts to actually do it, and, who could fault him? I thought about just this winter break when we were sitting, the two of us, in his house in the Ford, on the couch, just drinking a beer, watching a couple episodes of Futurama, and Kel turned to me 100% out of the blue and goes, Cam, I've read the Bible and everything, but I still don't get it. So, why are you a Christian? Which initially, whoa, not a super casual conversation for sitting on the couch and having a couple beers, but it led into a 2-hour super enlightening conversation, which was so typical of my time with him. Anything could lead into something that would really be impactful and that you would remember for a long time to come. I remember all the times that I brought up a totally unbased opinion at the lunchroom table or wherever else that Kel then turned to me and thoroughly debunked and got after me for, and I realized that this just happened to be yet another of the million subjects that somehow Kel was an expert on, and those just kept coming. There were so many of them. I remember last summer when Charlie and Kel came to Austin and we went out, and then we ended up sitting in a parking garage outside of where I was living at the time, drinking beer, catching up, talking about everything, it seemed, until like 6 or 7 a.m. as the sun was rising. And then right after that, instead of Ubering back to his hotel, Kel decided that it would be a good idea for him and Charlie that he would just walk home, which was 3 miles at 7 a.m. after a night of drinking. But I think they had a pretty good time, and I think Kel wouldn't have changed it. You know, why Uber? These memories, these times I got to have these amazing, enlightening conversations with Kel are the ones that I know will stick with me for the rest of my life. We all have so much to learn from Kel about not just taking things that people give to us or tell to us, but thinking about them critically and coming to a conclusion for yourself and not letting anybody else make those conclusions for you. We can learn from his example to live fearlessly. I think there was rarely a challenge that Kel met that he couldn't overcome, but there was never a challenge that he met that he didn't wholeheartedly believe that he could overcome. I am going to miss Kel so much, more than words could ever describe. But I know that looking back on our friendship, I will have nothing but positive memories to think back on. I just hope that I can live up to being the kind of person that Kel was, and to being the kind of person I know he would want me to be. I love you, Kel. There will certainly never, ever be another person like you, and I'm so incredibly grateful to have had the opportunity to be a part of your life, and I'm so privileged to have had you as a part of mine. To Kel and to all the boys, part of the ship, part of the crew, to the families who have taken such good care of us, to the Gameltoffs, I love you all so much. Thank you for letting me speak. It's an honor. Now, back to the Kellebration.